the bullpen in and of itself is a big storyline. We hit on this at the beginning, just the notion of
maybe the biggest story for the 2026 season, and certainly the question is how much of it's going to be answered in the August and September period here, because right now they certainly don't appear to really be trying to answer anything. They're investing a lot of innings and pitchers that I don't think are necessarily going to play much of a role in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, that's why earlier when I was talking about Abel or Bradley, etc., right, it's like, yeah, I would like to see them start, but more than that, I just need to see them get innings in the majors. And going back to what I just said with Festa, like some of these starters are going to be relievers. I don't know that that's going to be the next 7 weeks or even next season, but whenever the next good Twins bullpen arrives, and I have huge doubts about that being next season, it's going to involve some ex-starters. I mean, look at this bullpen. Duran moved to the bullpen when he got injured at AAA as a top starter prospect. Griffin Jacks moved to the bullpen at age 26 after getting absolutely demolished as a starting pitcher for the Twins. Louis Varland moved to the bullpen this spring after 3 or 4 bad years as a starter on and off with the Twins and at AAA. Brock Stewart moved to the bullpen after spending the first decade of his career as a starter and having all sorts of injury problems. Danny Coulombe was a former starter. Like, that's how you build bullpens. And so there's some scrap heap element to it. Like, hey, can we turn, I don't even know, Brooks Krischke or Thomas Hatch or Chase waiver claim du jour into a decent 6th inning reliever? Sure.
The same way that Danny Coulombe ended up becoming like
but
that.
But the bigger impact is which of these starters are going to become good relievers. And it's tough to predict that. I mean, one way to try to predict that is to look at who has good stuff already as a starter and who you think from either a velocity improvement standpoint or a dialing back of a deeper bag of pitches. Like, in other words, if there's a starter who throws 4 pitches, but really only 1 of 2 of them are consistently effective, and they get in trouble because they got a good fastball and they got a good slider, but when they try to throw a changeup or they try to throw curveballs or they try to mix pitches on and off, they just don't have good secondary pitches. Well,
yeah, it's more of an art than a science. There's a lot of trial and error involved in this, right?
And the easiest thing is you just move a guy to the bullpen and you say, stop throwing your 3rd, 4th, and 5th pitch. Just throw your 1st and 2nd pitch. And sometimes it's as easy as that. And then there's also guys who you throw 93 as a starter, you go to the bullpen and you throw 96. Or in Louis Varland's case, you go throw 95 as a starter and you throw 99 as a reliever. I mean, that can be the equation too. And so it's hard sometimes to pinpoint those guys. Like, I mean, I certainly think if you were to unleash, Taj Bradley or Mick Abel 1 inning at a time,
right,
they're going to be throwing upper 90s consistently with a good breaking ball. But also, if you think they can still be good starters, and in Abel's case, he's only had a handful of starts in the majors to prove it one way or the other, you don't want to kind of give up on that too soon, but also you don't want to waste time if you need a good bullpen next year.
I wonder with those guys whether or not the Twins are viewing them as, okay, this is going to be 7 and 8 in our rotation for 2026, or are they actually thinking, well, one of these guys we thinking we're going to be moving to the bullpen. And then also, like, what happens to the 6, 7, 8 from last year, which is, or 8, 9, 10 from last year, which is, Andrew Morris, Cody Lewis, or Marco Raya. Maybe those guys are guys that are thinking that they're going to be slating for the bullpen right now. So,
yeah. I mean, Raya and Lewis have been horrendous at AAA. I think they might be example of, you just moved to the bullpen because you've been bad as a starter.
Right. That's exactly.
Which is another, that's kind of the Jack's plan, I guess, that I described. So that's something to watch out for. But then, until that happens, I mean, right now, there's almost no one in this bullpen that has any upside whatsoever other than maybe Cole Sands.
Well, one of my storylines was going to be, I am interested to see how Ole and Adams do just because of the development.
Right. Let me alter what I said. I agree on both of those, but you're not going to see that if they continue to ask them to pitch 3 or 4 innings at a time, because that role is not going to allow you to, go max velocity. That role is not going to allow you to dial back your pitch mix. In Ole's case, for instance, he very clearly has a good changeup and he very clearly has a questionable everything else. If you're asking him to pitch 4 innings at a time, that's basically a starter workload and usage. So he's going to have to use his whole pitch mix. Same thing with Adams. I mean, we saw Adams had a very good start against the Tigers, very promising start, best start of his career by far against the Tigers. When I say lack of upside, what I mean is if they continue to try to get bulk innings out of those guys, and they need bulk innings out of somebody. I mean, somebody's got to pitch these innings, basically. So I see that, but I would like to see, to your point, Ole and Adams 1 inning at a time or once through the lineup maybe to see if there is more velocity there, if you can trim back the pitch mix from 4 or 5 to 1 or 2 and something can click. And I don't think either of them are going to be all-star relievers, but if one or both of them could be a 6th inning guy next year, that would be absolutely massive for them. So when I say upside, until I see the Twins commit to changing their usage from long reliever starter-esque to actual reliever, then I just think they don't have a ton of upside. But maybe that Twins will figure that out and take a look at them. I would like to see Ole, especially, if he could just be a fastball changeup guy, because I think the changeup is a legitimate major league pitch, but I think the other stuff holds him back from that mattering that much in a longer bulk role.
And welcome to the end of this video. There's lots more. For another, just click on one of these boxes.
Or click on this circle in the middle to subscribe to all of our Twins Talk.
Thank you.
Gleeman.